she would like scream to get out of it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Rox, and in this video I am going to be sharing things that I would have packed in my bag knowing that I had a C-section. So I do have a video on my channel that says what's in my hospital bag. That is more so for normal vaginal deliveries, which I thought I was going to have. If you did watch my traumatic birthing experience, I wasn't exaggerating, but if you did watch that video, then you know that I had I guess you could say an emergency C-section. So yeah, I had not planned that I was going to be having a C-section, but the reason why I wanted to do this video is because a few friends of mine will be having a C-section, and also in my mommy friends group, there are some moms who are like, what should I pack in my hospital bag? And I know there are some C-section mommies out there, so I wanted to do this video for them. I haven't personally stumbled across any hospital bag videos for C-sections. I'm pretty sure they're out there, but this is for me knowing what I know now. This is what I would have packed, or I took some things out from the original one and added some things, but of course everyone's different. You might have your preference on certain things of bringing, so I'm just pretty much going to go through things that I would have added, and if I would have taken out anything, I'm going to mention that. So let's get to it. I do have my notes here, so let's start off with baby, and also go back to that video if you want to know what I packed. That's what I ended up bringing to the hospital. So I'm also going to include what my husband brought in his bag. I don't know if he'll do his own video, but we'll see. Okay, so for baby, I don't know how you feel about pacifiers. I didn't really think about it. The lactation nurse did recommend at least waiting 3 to 4 weeks before introducing a pacifier. For me and my husband, we wanted to give her one to see how she would do with it for those times where she got bored. So the lactation nurse said that babies will suck either they're hungry or if they're curious. So curious, or like observing or just thinking. So for times as those, and like sometimes she'll feed and then she won't stop at all. Like she's pretty much doing it because she wants to fall asleep, if that makes sense. So most of the time she'll be full, and we'll know she's full because her belly will be like close to being bloated, I guess you can say. And then sometimes she'll spit out her milk because she had a little too much. And when I breastfeed, I know now, like sometimes I'll pull my boob away from her and she'll be completely fine. Sometimes she'll scream, and that's when I know she's actually hungry. So anyways, for that, I would recommend bringing a pacifier. If you have a few that you want to try, I've always been told that baby picks out what bottle pacifier, bottle nipple they want to use and stuff like that. So I would recommend bringing probably 2 to 3 different ones. My daughter, we've tried like, how many did we try on her? We probably tried like 5, 6 on her, and she only likes 2 out of the many that we've tried. So for the pacifier, I would recommend the MAM pacifier. This is what it looks like. My daughter likes this. When she does choose to use a pacifier, she doesn't use it often. She really doesn't like it. She knows she's being fooled or played, so she'll only take it for like a few minutes. But this is one that I recommend out of the many newborn ones we tried, only because it's small. So this part of it is small, and also the nipple part is very short compared to other newborn ones that I've tried. Don't get the 0 to 3 months one. Get one that's specifically for a newborn. That's what I would recommend, just specifically because of the nipple part. So this is one that I would recommend. And also I got like 3 of these for free because most of the baby bag registries that I got, or boxes, had this in it. So the hospital that I stayed at did provide clothing for babe, but I wanted to bring clothes for her to take or to go home in. So I brought 2 different sizes, and if you're there for a C-section, I would recommend bringing a few because you'll be there for like 2-3 days. You have to meet the criteria before getting discharged, so I would just recommend bringing a few. For my daughter, I think I brought her like four onesies. And also in the mom group, it was mentioned like,
oh, I want to have my baby wear like something cute to go home in.
I would suggest using cute onesies, but you can dress your baby however you want, mama. But I'm just saying, like, make sure baby's comfortable. If you want to dress them cute, just make sure that it's weather appropriate and it's comfortable. So that, it's just easier to put on as well. Like, onesies are just easy to put on. They flap their arms, they like hold it in place. They don't want to like, well, most babies, I'm assuming, don't want to like easily put on clothing. So that's something. Definitely bring socks and mittens, and depending on whether or not you want to bring baby a blanket, the hospital does have blankets, and what I liked about the blankets that we had there were they were long enough to swaddle baby, and they were thick, so it was hard for her to like fight through them. When we got home, we still used it. We tried using like our own swaddle blankets and the ones that like are already like made, I guess, and she broke out of those, or she would like scream to get out of it. Before I forget, I would bring like an extra bag, nothing fancy, but just to put stuff that you will take home from the hospital, because they'll give you a bunch of stuff. And like I was told, don't be afraid to ask. I was a little like, oh, I don't know if I should ask, but I did, and so I went home with a good amount of diapers and baby wipes. All right, so for mommy, like I mentioned some of these in my other video, and I took some out, so I'll kind of mention what I ended up taking out now at the top of my head, because I remember I ended up bringing breast pads, but for C-sections, I guess it takes time for your milk production to come in. They suggest at least waiting like 2-3 days, so be patient. But I brought a lot of, and I didn't end up using them at all. So maybe bring like a few disposable if you're really concerned about that, but it just kind of take time. I would definitely bring, if you have one, a boppy pillow. I brought one and I really didn't use it. Well, I kind of used it in the hospital, but it took me some time to really learn how to use it or get comfortable with it. But play around with it a few days before you go to the hospital, so you kind of know where to place it and stuff, but it helps so much. Boppy pillow, your robe. This is the robe that I brought. It is from Amazon, and I think it was less than $20, if not less than $25 actually. So it's just a stretchy gown. They say you will live in this after you deliver. Oh, nursing bras. So I mentioned in that video, was it necessary to bring nursing bras?
Oh my gosh, nursing bras are a lifesaver.
You just unhook it and boob out, and then you can feed baby. Those are easy, especially if you're not comfortable breastfeeding in public. I'm not necessarily that comfortable with breastfeeding in public. I still use like a blanket to cover baby. That's just me. I'm not saying I'm against it or anything, so
don't get crazy.
But for myself, I'm just not comfortable. But yeah, so it's helpful because you just unhook it and, you know, do your thing. Okay, next thing is diaper, or your pads and underwear. So the hospital does give you perineal care stuff, and for the C-section, you don't really have to worry so much about it hurting down there, but you still will bleed. So whatever your preference is, I use the Frida undisposable underwear. Those are great. So I had a sample, and I had the undies and then like the boy short type. I really like the boy short type, but the underwear one was good too. But, or not underwear, what is that? Like boy shorts and brief type. So this is what the hospital gave me. I will show you. And most likely this is what the hospital will give you as well. This is the mesh underwear that they give you. And then this is the, it's not really a pad, but it's like it doesn't have any flaps. So you put this on and then you put the mesh over, and that is how it'll work. So you still will bleed. So yeah. If you prefer, this is usually what they'll give you, or they'll also give you like a thick pad. After the first day, I didn't really have bleeding. I had very minimal bleeding. So I probably would have just brought my boy short underwear. They're like boxers. They're kind of high-waisted, or use boxer briefs and the thick pads. That's what I probably would have brought with me, just because I wasn't bleeding so much. And that's what I ended up doing at home, I think. Yeah, after a few days, that's what I ended up doing. I did do this for a day or two when I got home, and then I eventually just went on to pads. So that, or adult diapers, just like this, because these you just put right on, and you don't have to worry about like the other pad, the yellow one that I showed you. This, you just put it right on and that's it. In the previous video, I showed you guys that I purchased a perineal spray. Yeah, the one at the hospital works just as fine, or just as great. I ended up returning the one that I purchased because when I used it or tried it, I didn't even really use it, but like I wanted to try it over the sink, like not on myself, but like the water wasn't even going out of the spout thingy, it was going out around the spout. If you do end up buying one, it's preference, and I would test it out before you go. But this is the one that they give you at the hospital. You'd think having the spout is easier, but this is just as fine. Pop the warm water in here, and obviously it won't hurt down there, but it does feel very nice and clean when you have this. And they also do give you lanolin cream, but I would bring my own as well if you decide to breastfeed. And what else? For mom, of course, clothes for going home. And if you're more comfortable using your own clothes during your hospital stay, like I said, it's usually 2 to 4 days, I think. This works just as fine, my robe. So that's what I used instead of bringing like extra clothes. But I did bring 2 dresses. My nursing dresses is what I brought, and I just saved one for home, and then the other one, no, actually I just used the one for going home. Oh, don't forget a hairbrush. You want to bring your charger, a long one, because you just don't know where those outlets are going to be. Okay, so the hospital does provide lotion, shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrush. I'm pretty sure all of them will. It's just your preference if you want to use theirs or not. If you are into skincare, obviously you want to bring your skincare things, and makeup if you want to use any makeup. I don't think all I brought for my makeup was my eyebrow pencil stuff and my eyelash curler. So that's what I brought. And then I ended up bringing my own toothbrush, lotion, stuff like that, but I ended up using the hospitals as well, which is funny because I read something where like the toothpaste in hospitals are nasty, but mine was just fine, and we ended up using it because the one that I brought was expired. Oh, don't forget your masks as well. They have them there at the hospital, but I had a cute mask that I wanted to wear, so don't forget those because it's COVID-19. Pillow. For myself, I was fine with the pillow that I had. They have pillows there at the hospital, but I don't know, if your hospital might be stingy with pillows, you might want to bring them. My husband likes to use a lot of pillows, so he brought his own, and he had some extra ones he could use. And blankets. So like I said, they provide those at the hospital, but if your husband and for yourself, if there's a specific blanket that you want to use, then don't forget your blanket. So that is it. That is what I would pack in my hospital bag, knowing that I would be having a C-section. Most of the time, if you've had a C-section, you're most likely going to be scheduled for another one, which I'm not against it. I was quite traumatized from my very first labor and delivery experience, so I don't think I will be doing a VBAC. Just because I was traumatized. Maybe that might change and I might want to deliver naturally next time. For the most part, no thanks. But yeah, if I had missed anything and you had a C-section, comment down below. That will be helpful for me for the next time. And that will be helpful for other moms who are going to be having C-sections as well. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video.